views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB-TV.
Hello, welcome to the latest edition of Let's Talk Sports with Rick and Jack. My friend, good to see you again this week.
Good to see you again, sir.
It's we had some good show last week, some good luck on gambling, and we'll get into that. We like to gamble too, besides, talking about all the other sports. But the first thing we're going to do, folks, is have an arm wrestling contest. Big boy over here. I'm just kidding. look.
It's all aesthetics.
Hey, big boy. What do you call average boy? Whatever you call me, whatever you want. But
I only did one push-up.
There's
one push-up.
Look. He was in the bathroom, flex, doing push-ups. Anyways, and then it's like I love this show. I love our interaction. Last week was a great show, and we had a lot of success with that show and a lot of great things talked about. But we were pretty much right on our picks, not only in football but a few other sports. We'll get into that as we go. But I can't help but start the show with the question. We've already talked about he being a big boy and me being an average boy, size-wise. What's with the Mets hat? I mean, the Jets, the New York Giants both lost. The Mets are they going to make the playoffs with 16 teams in the playoffs? Are they going to be in the bubble?
No.
Now we got a baseball bubble, a basketball bubble, and a hockey bubble. Now we got a baseball bubble for the playoffs. So,
I guess
tell me about the Mets today.
When it comes to losing team, I guess I'm in a bubble too, right?
I think you're in a haze, but you got a lot of smoke around you because. Oh my God!
This week,
New
the
York
reason why I'm sporting my Mets hat is the Mets they're in the process of getting sold to a family that has money. Well, I would say not just have money, a billionaire hedge fund manager. His name is Steve Cohen.
Yeah.
So he made a little decent money. A little side note on Steve Cohen. There's a series on Showtime called Billions, and it's loosely based off his action in the hedge fund world. If you ever get a chance to watch the series, that's a good series to watch.
I'll check it out. But having billions doesn't guarantee you winning and great ownership, just like with the Clippers, who unceremoniously were released from the playoffs by Denver. Did you all watch that? Denver beats them 3 straight. The Clippers are a bunch of losers, man, and poorly coached. But my point is, Steve Ballmer got more money than God, owns the Clippers, and how did the Clippers end up this year?
So
was
that your way to segue? Was that your way to segue into me saying you're right?
Yeah, I like that. I like that you are right, because we had a lot of that in football. I don't want to get into you were right.
So all week long, you've been saying, "Oh, the Clippers are done. The Clippers are done. They should not have let Denver in." I'm like, no. Kawhi's gonna do this. We're gonna see the old Paul George, and you're like, "Nope, done." I'm like, "Nope." And so yes, you were right.
I still can't get over it. I mean, shocking. They never the Lakers continue to do well, and they sat back while everybody said the Clippers are going to be the champions. They got Paul George and Leonard and Beverly and this guy and that guy, and they got such a great team and all that talent. And they've continued to look poor in the playoffs, particularly Paul George looked poor. Leonard just works his what off and is just a hard worker, but I don't see many leadership skills there with the Clippers anyways. But what happened to the Clippers? Is it coaching? What happened?
I think it starts from the top, and one of the things we've always discussed is chemistry and locker room. And I think he lost the locker room not only with the coaches but the players. So this was the epitome of how one player, 2 players can make a difference in the locker room, the culture, and then the coach loses. When the coach loses the locker room, that winning mentality is out the door. There's no sync. And last night's game was perfect example of zero sync. Like, even if you're panicking, still do the things that you do well. And they weren't doing any of that.
And they did panic 3 games in a row. I mean, no. It's
You are correct.
It's not a good story because I mean, just like Milwaukee. I mean, they had all that talent. They had the great Giannis, Middleton, several other good players. No chemistry. Clippers, no chemistry. I mean, in the end, it's funny. I'm watching interviews last night, and Lou Williams says, "Well, we really didn't like each other." I mean, come on, folks.
Even if they didn't, they should. No one should know that.
Come on, folks. Exactly. Doc Rivers, we were a failure. Yeah, you were a failure. You were a failure from a few weeks back. It's not been good in the bubble.
But
it's embarrassing.
Give him credit. He did take ownership for a minute.
Well,
as
ownership
a
being
good
taken,
leadership,
they still lost.
They still.
Bottom line, they still lost. Ownership taken. Okay. I'm not a Doc Rivers fan. He won in Boston because he had great players and great leadership. He had the players. Paul Pierce, Rondo, they had the ball players. And the great Kevin Garnett, leadership. That's why the Lakers will win it, because LeBron is an incredible leader. Anthony Davis is like, let's go. They got kids like Caruso, and Rondo is playing out of his mind, isn't he?
Yes.
You've seen Rondo look like this in years?
No, and you speak of that leadership. Remember during that time when he won championships or the championship in Boston.
Boston, yeah.
He was the young guy and having all those leaders around him, and now to see him flipping the script where he's the leader on that, one of the leaders on that team, and a great role model and spark, and just to see him just the way he's playing right now, and just wants to win. Yeah. He's not worried about
Rondo's
the championship.
Been great. He's been great. And it's funny. It's like I'm watching Miami last night, and again in the other series, Miami and Boston. We got Miami and Boston, Lakers and Denver. I'm picking the Lakers. No big deal. Anybody, like you said, any of four could win it. You mentioned earlier, but I'm listening to a guy talk about Jimmy Butler. Abayu talking about Jimmy Butler, and he says he doesn't care how many points he scores. He doesn't care who scores. Jimmy Butler doesn't care who scores. Jimmy Butler cares about winning, and that's all he cares about. Well, that was a problem with the Clippers, and I'm not going to talk about the Clippers anymore because it's over. They're lost cause. Think about next year. But leadership is the key. Great coaching and leadership, and of course, defense is what wins it in the end.
Do you remember Jimmy Butler going from team to team to team?
Everybody said he was a head case.
Chicago, Minnesota, Philly, and now Miami. And you're like, man, this guy can't get along. And it's that winning mentality. He has a team that they have a winning mentality. They want to win. And, you saw that heart last night when he basically at the end, he wanted to make sure he put his team in a position to win. And they end up winning.
I've seen it in many games in this bubble, and he is a leader. And I think the point you make is good about all the different teams he's been with and the problems. Environment is very important to your success. If you don't have a good environment that is conducive to winning, it's just conducive to scoring points. You don't care whether you win or not. It's conducive to contracts and money. You're not going to win. But all of a sudden, he's in an environment. I went from saying, man, Jimmy Butler, what a problem child. I mean, and the same thing with Rondo. What a problem child. He was bouncing. He got kicked out of Dallas before the season was over. So Rondo and Jimmy Butler are in environments where they want to win, that the mentality is winning and getting along with your teammates and spending time with your teammates. Like I'm listening to a Bayou talk last night. He said, we love each other. We eat together. We do everything together on this team. We're a unit. And those are the units that win.
And they drink that $20 coffee.
They drink that $20 coffee that Jimmy Butler sells out of his room. Can you believe that? Espresso, $20 a cup. Jimmy Butler, like he needs the money.
Talking about he needs money.
Like he needs the money. He ought to buy them all a cappuccino machine for their own rooms, espresso machine.
No, talk about a guy that's prepared.
Oh my God.
He's prepared to be there the long haul. So that's exactly what's happening.
Anyways, we could talk basketball all day. That's our favorite. We love basketball. But let's move on after you tell me who the winner of the whole NBA championship is this year.
My team, the team that I'm choosing is the Lakers. That's who I wanted to win from the get-go as far as the setup. I'm still going to stay with them. But as I told you off camera, I think any of these teams can do it. You saw the Murray showed up again last night where he was in the last series, and hopefully the Lakers can help contain him, and they have to play their game. Everyone has to. Kuzma has to show up too. It's not just Rondo. They're gonna need probably a good five-headed monster to contain that young, enthused Denver team.
Yeah, well coached, hardworking team. A couple of great players. Jokic and Murray are just fantastic, and the role players are great.
And Jokic
they're a
is
very good
also
team.
Unselfish too, and that's
what
that
a passer!
In 3 quarters, he already had a
He set a record.
Yes,
He set a record for centers. He had a triple-double after 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Great passer. Good team. Again, it's all about unity. They love playing together. And when you have talent that loves playing together, it's tough. And that's the problem playing against the Lakers, because the Lakers are a very united unit, and LeBron will not let them lose. It's going to be a tough series, maybe, but I think the Lakers are going to dominate, and they're going to control Jokic and Murray. And that's what they do. Just like they got in Russell Westbrook's head, and he was horrible. Harden wasn't great. He's going to make his points, but there was nothing spectacular about Houston in that series. Though, the funny thing is, after 3 quarters, Houston led every game in that series. Funny stat. They were leading in every game. Lakers took over in the 4th. Lakers do what they got to do to win. They win the whole thing. I don't think it's much money to be made, but put your money on the Lakers. Anyways, let's move on. I'm curious. Was there anything in sports that really caught your eye this week? Was there a wow moment where you said, give me just one moment where you said, wow, that's really cool. I love sports for the psychology of sports, whatever it is. Give me a wow moment.
One, it's hard to just say one, because there are several things
it is.
that happen.
Big sports week. But give me one.
So I'm going to take one and I'm going to steal another. One was Osaka coming back. It's the way she came back and won this past weekend.
Yeah, Naomi Osaka, great tennis match.
That was real prolific for her. And then the one I'm gonna steal is NFL started this week, and one of the things that stood out to me with the NFL season was the way they were, the unity, and then Roger Goodell admitting that he was wrong about Colin Kaepernick. That really stood out for me.
Yeah, those were 2 great moments. It's funny, it was a big week with basketball continuing, baseball going on, soccer, hockey. There's so many things going on right now, and that's why we're going to do our show this week in 2 segments. We're not going to talk about football in this segment, because we're going to give football the due it deserves in the betting angles and the odds, and we're going to talk about football in a different segment. But so you won't see that here, but we'll be talking about that right after this show, and you can watch both shows, and that's what we want you to do. My wow moment was, there were so many. Osaka, winning, coming back. She was down 6-1 in the first set. She came back and won the next 2. And the other thing was that on the men's side, Dominic Thiem, that was a 4-hour match. Those guys could barely walk, cramping, and he ended up winning it in the end. But over 4 hours, the men's final was. I watched the whole thing. It was fantastic, great play. But congratulations to the both of them winning the U.S. Open. Speaking about U.S. Opens, so that was a good moment for me. I enjoyed those 2 moments in tennis. And speaking of the U.S. Open, golf U.S. Open is this week.
Is
tough
it
tournament? Who you like? You don't like golf?
Is it wrong that I'm all? The thing is, I want, as long as Tiger is relevant for the weekend, you'll always have a great weekend in golf. And I'm waiting for, I guess, right now for him to surprise us, because every so often he surprises us and either does well or win it. So I'm hoping he'll win it this weekend.
I don't think so, but they got him in a good pairing, and the U.S. Open brings out the competitive juices. It's one of the majors, so it's going to be good. There's so much talent in professional golf right now. I'm going to go ahead and make a couple of picks. I like John Rahm. I think he's got a great shot from Spain, and of course Justin Thomas, great U.S. player. But I think either one of them is going to win it, and and Dustin Johnson is playing so well. Dustin Johnson is killing it right now, and his claim to fame, he's married to Wayne Gretzky's daughter. So that's his claim to fame. No, he's a hell of a golfer.
Oh man,
Justin, I'm just kidding.
I hope he.
He ain't going. Hey, hell of a golfer. Hell of a golfer. Hell of a golfer. Let me stop there. Anyways, golf is on. It's going to be a good weekend. It's going to be football and golf to watch. And let's move over to hockey now. I know you want to talk about our great Golden Knights. And last week in our show, we discussed the Golden Knights against Dallas. And I believe one of us said that Dallas was going to win that series easily. Well, they won 4-1. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you Golden Knight hockey fans, enjoy the Raiders. The Raiders play this week. Enjoy that because there's no more hockey for quite a while. Anyways, I know you want to talk about hockey. Go ahead. There's 4 teams left in the hockey.
Oh no, it's only 3 right now. On the east side, we have the Islanders and Tampa Bay Lightning.
And Tampa Bay will close that series out in the next game.
I'm not gonna disagree with you with that.
Maybe not. Hey, maybe the Islanders will win 3 in a row.
Maybe they'll do what Denver did in basketball.
Doubtful.
You were correct in a sense where you saw beyond my fandom of the Knights.
But you're a big fan, and that's okay.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Emotionality comes into it. It's okay to be emotional. I'm about the money. I'm not about the emotional. It doesn't matter to me.
Their forwards were not scoring, and that's one of their biggest issue, where they were not. For some reason, it's like they're hitting the puck towards the net, and it wasn't going in, and that's all they kept on doing was towards the net. Eventually, it'll go in, and it didn't go in, and they're going home, or they're coming back here.
Yeah, they're probably already back. But that was not a good series, and you made a good point the other day. The Golden Knight fans are so fortunate, and I really caught this the other day when we were talking over lunch, and we were talking about what happened to them, and you said, the hockey fans in Vegas are spoiled. This team has been in business for 3 years. 3 years, and they won. They went to the Stanley Cup and almost won it. Lost to Washington Capitals, a very good team that year. Last year they were in the playoffs, and this year they were in the Western Conference Finals, and could have been in the Stanley Cup Finals. And our fans should probably be pretty appreciative of the type of team they have here for only being around for 3 years. So I think that was a really good point.
Absolutely, because you're looking at Dallas right now. The last time they've been there was 2000.
20 years ago.
Oh, 2000, yes.
Yeah, 2000. The last time Dallas was there.
So
20 years ago.
So can you imagine what it would be like for the fans here in Vegas? How because basically you got spoiled for the first 3 years. Can you imagine waiting 20 years to be relevant in any way?
Yeah, the Golden Knights have done great. All kidding aside.
Absolutely.
All prognostication aside, I really felt Dallas was a better team. Excuse me. That's why I picked them. So it looks like it's going to.
You were right.
Be Tampa, Dallas. I was, but I don't want to be right when it comes to the city, but I'm going to be right on the right side of gambling. And again, inevitably, it comes down to the greenbacks that go in the pocket when you play sports.
Yes.
And that's not what it's all about. We have a lot of opinions on a lot of things, and I'm wrong a lot. Believe me, I can be wrong. And we'll talk about some football where I was wrong, and also anyways, we'll talk about football later. Let's talk about baseball. In our first couple of shows, we have missed baseball. We've been so busy with other things. Baseball is interesting. I think you probably heard that they're going to do the playoffs in a bubble. All games are going to be played in California and in Texas. So baseball is going to be in a bubble, which is interesting. They're going to keep it safe. They want to make it through the playoffs. So I think it's a great idea. And I think they'll be able to pull it off because they'll follow the roadmap of hockey and basketball. And I think they've probably talked to a lot of them, and they've shared a lot of information. So baseball is going to be kind of fun because it is going to be in the bubble. And it usually guarantees that we're going to be okay and not like it has in hockey in basketball. And we're not going to have to shut down games because guys have, corona. So,
it makes sense because
it does make sense.
when the season first started, you heard they were canceling games because
Miami went forever for not playing. Cincinnati, Philadelphia.
Yeah, so it makes perfect sense, and it's the thing to do right now. And it's like probably reminds them of like the Little League World Series where you it's like
They're in a bubble, right?
they're
The
in a
College
bubble.
World Series, one of the most famous things that happened.
And
Think
this,
about it, Omaha, Nebraska, College World Series.
so
It's awesome environment.
it should be good, and then that way we know the competition like it's gonna be true because it's nothing like your starting pitcher and you're in the World Series and your starting pitcher gets corona. You could be right there to win it, and just that one play, or your best hitter,
So it's a good plan. Who do you see? Tell me about a couple of the better teams that you're watching in baseball. Who do you think has a good shot of winning it all this year?
It's anybody's team. It's anybody's one right now. Who do you like?
Dodgers win easily. The Dodgers win it easily. After 3 years of struggling and trying to win it, being cheated playing the Astros, stealing signs and all that. But that title should have been evacuated by Houston, and the Dodgers should have gotten it. But anyways,
I don't want to.
let's not get on that political subject. But seriously, who do you like? Who do you like besides the Dodgers? The Dodgers is an easy pick. Anybody can pick the Dodgers. I could have said a monkey up here, and he would have picked the Dodgers.
No, but here's the reason why I do like the Dodgers is it's like that one that got away, and now you're determined to get it back this year.
Yeah.
So I do like them, but I don't want to pick with my heart.
Well, you're sure not going to say the Mets.
No, I know better.
They ain't
Oh,
gonna-
no.
You may say the
Oh,
Yankees.
no, wrong blue.
How about the Yankees? Who are you picking with your heart? Tell me.
No, it would be the Dodgers. Yankees, no.
Yankees have had a lot of injuries. I think you're going to see a different team in the playoffs. I think they're going to be very competitive. But you're going to have to beat Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's a good ball club. Toronto's a good ball club. Minnesota's a good ball club.
Tampa Bay's always been good. For some reason, they've always played the Yankees and Boston well, because it's a division game, so they know each other, and they not a Houston thing, but they probably know each other's signs.
Well, I mean,
They just don't record them.
Exactly. No, exactly. I mean, let's be honest here. They probably know a lot more than they'll ever let on to most teams, but somebody's not going to rat them out, so it's whatever. But I believe, the Dodgers do have a couple problems. Their ability to hit the baseball is amazing. They have a lineup with Mookie Betts in there, and the type of players they have, Bellinger, Turner. They got a great lineup. They're going to score runs. The problem with the Dodgers is middle relief, and lately their big closer, Kenley Jensen, he can't get anybody out. What did he have the other night against Houston? A 5-1 lead in the ninth, and they lost 7-5. So the Dodgers' concerns for me is middle relief and bullpen. I think the team that's most acclimated to beat the Dodgers in the National League is the Atlanta Braves. The Braves are a very good ball club. They really have a good team.
So what
And I
happened?
think they can contend with the Dodgers.
So what happened on Sunday? Do
Sunday?
you know I lost my parlay on Sunday because of them?
Of the Braves?
Yes, they were supposed to win, and it was the eighth inning, and it was 8-4.
Right. That's right. They blew that game. That's right.
Blue.
Yeah. Who were they playing? I mean, I watched between football and baseball and hockey and golf and
It was the first team on
tennis.
it was my first pick, and boom.
Right off the bat, your parlay was out.
My parlay was done. 8-1. I was like,
Yeah. Wow. So let's pick a couple teams that we think that are going to be in the baseball World Series. We agree on the Dodgers?
Dodgers, and I guess
Astros aren't going to make it, right?
no.
It isn't going to be the Angels, is it?
No,
Boy, get all those players and they
too
can't
much
win.
too much talent. Talent doesn't always win.
Angels, I mean, they got the best player in baseball, Trout, and then they picked up Rendon, and they got all kinds of players. But Angels, I mean, they're who really could make a good run is Oakland. Oakland's playing excellent baseball. They're going to win that division. They're going to beat Houston in that division, but they're going to have to meet in the playoffs.
But I think Oakland doesn't pay. That they don't spend enough money on talent to be successful, and that's been a big part of
good
their.
ball, though.
They're playing good ball, but sometimes you need to pay for talent, and
Yeah.
they seem to always go with the analytic part. They're the ones that really started pushing analytics, but I don't think they have enough. They don't have enough star power there to actually make a big difference.
It's interesting. I think in the American League that I'm just mentioning him now. A very good team also is Minnesota, but I believe in the end it's going to be the Dodgers of Minnesota in the championship. Now that's stretching with Minnesota because somebody like Tampa Bay or the Yankees will probably end up in there, or Toronto is playing good ball. Cleveland is playing good ball. You know, so there's a lot of good teams in the American League, a lot of good teams in the National. I think in the National it comes down to the Braves or the Dodgers. In the American League, it could be anybody's game, but I'm going to go out on a limb and pick Minnesota this year.
I'm going to go Tampa Bay.
Okay, good. You all hear that? Baseball's coming up, playoffs soon, so we'll figure it out. Anyways, we wanted to talk about a bunch of different sports today, and as you see, we covered a lot of things, a lot of sports going on with the golf coming up, and basketball, baseball, hockey playoffs continue, and tennis is a little bit dead this week. I don't think there's any great tournament. So please continue to tune in. We're always going to talk sports. As I said, we got a segment coming up on football, and we're going to analyze what we did last week and compare notes of how we did and what's coming up this week, and some of the surprises we had in the NFL. There were definitely surprises, and some teams surprised us, good and bad. So we're going to talk our own segment on football. Please tune into that. We got a lot of interesting stuff for you. We got our picks of the week. By the way, we both won our picks of the week. We picked a game each, and we both won it. And so if you were betting on it, you made some money. We had a pretty good week. I think we went 10 wins and 6 losses, which if you do that every week, you're going to make a lot of money. We're also going to talk fantasy football. Jack is a big fantasy football fan. He'll let us know how he did this week against the people he plays against, and talk fantasy football and players you should be thinking about. I'm not a fantasy football guy. I'm a straight up watch sports and once in a while put a couple coins on it. But the main thing is we want to help you. We want you to make money. We want you to enjoy the things we talk about. So we talked about a lot of different sports today. It's been fun. It's been enjoyable. But now we're going to get into our football segment. Thanks for watching this segment. It's been fun. Hopefully we've been knowledgeable and helped you and the things you think about with sports. And we're looking forward to next week. Should be another great show. We're looking forward to it. And please watch our follow-up segment strictly on football and helping you be a better prognosticator and betting on your games and figuring out fantasy football. Thanks for watching. It's been a great fun here. It's gone quickly. Thank you, my brother. It's
Thank you,
always
sir.
fun. You the man. And look at his arm. Arm wrestling maybe next week. I got to work out. I'm a little guy. I'm just a little dude. So anyway, yeah.
I did one push-up.
Hey, anyways,
it's about to deflate.
thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Watch our football segment. We got some great stuff for you. Thank you. God bless. Talk to you in a minute.